Hi everyone, Frederick here, Simple System Trading. Today's video is about the import level study. I recently updated this study and all the details will be in this video. The import price level study will take a CSV file and use the values to plot lines or zones automatically inside Sierra Chart. And if you are not familiar with a CSV file, it's basically a text file format. Every line has the same format and the values are separated by a comma. And all those values will be processed by the study to plot zones or lines. The zones and lines will be plotted as subgraphs in Sierra Chart. There is a maximum of 60 for each loaded study. And as we will use 2 subgraphs for zones, you have a maximum of 60 lines or 30 zones per study. But if you need more, you can just load a second study and you set a different start line in the study settings. The CSV file can be a local file or it can be a direct link to a URL. Only direct links are supported at this time. If there's a redirect in between, that will not work, but I'm still trying to get that sorted with Sierra Chart. The update interval can be set to a X amount of seconds, minutes or hours, and if that interval has passed, then the file will be processed again. The following items can be set in that CSV file, as can be seen here. And that will affect the look of your lines and zones. The format of the file is basically free because you can select the column numbers that reference certain values inside the study. Every line is the same inside the CSV file, but you can decide if you want to put price in column 1 or column 2 or any other column. Make sure you trim down the CSV files as much as possible for your resources. The study is quite fast and accurate, but you don't want to use a 10,000 line file just to load 30 zones, so be aware of that. The above values can be used to define the look of the lines and zones, but they're not all mandatory. For lines, the mandatory value is a price column. And for zones, you need to define a price and a width column. The price for lines is simply the price where a line will be drawn. And for zones, you need to be aware that this is the center line of the zone. The width setting is needed when you run zones. And this width setting is the width in ticks measured from the center line to the edge of the zone. So basically a half of the zone width. If you use a date, you need to format it in year, month, day values. The time needs to be in a 24-hour format, and the study assumes that a UTC time zone is used. The study will convert that time zone to your used time zone inside Sierra Chart. If you use a color, you can also set that in your CSV file, and the color takes in a decimal format. There is a site called convertingcolors.com. This is the site where you can get all the details on converting from one format to another, and the study takes in the decimal format. If you use a label name, this label name can be placed inside the CSV file as well. The format is a string and a maximum of 15 characters will be processed. For the lines, you can set a line width as an integer representing the line width. You can set a line style as well, either a 0, a 1, 2, 3 or a 4. And you can set or unset the reverse label color or the reverse value label. As can be seen on this slide. Now it's demo time. I'm going to start with a ES chart here in replay mode and show you the lines, how lines are plotted. We're going to set the update interval to minutes. will have a local CSV file. If you have hosted, you select hosted. You start with local, and I have a file ready. The lines file, I'm gonna draw lines. I'm gonna use the price column number 1, and the first line to read will be number 1 as well. There is the line file here. First column is a price column, and that's how we gonna use it. We're also gonna use the day and the time columns. Date is 3, time column is column number 4. You can show here, price is here, width is here, date, time. And with this we can already see the lines being drawn by the study. There is another option here I didn't discuss yet, but you can forward project the lines by pushing this to yes, and you see there's a forward projection area where the subgraphs can see with the tool values window that these lines are actual subgraphs. You can run any alert condition on them as well. If you look for your chart settings, advanced settings, there will be a number of forward columns setting, and that's the setting that's used to define your forward numbers. Other settings here, if you go to color, there is subgraph specific. This basically means that we can set the subgraph colors individually. We have 3 colors here. We can set, 3 levels here we can set, and those colors will be taken in. We also have CSV-file column, and this is, in our case, column number 5. Just after the time, there's a decimal value for color. So we set column number 5 here, and we'll see that these colors are now done. The label options, there's also subgraph specific label option. If you use a label, you need to click the name label. We are on level 1 here. We set the right edge, vertical alignment central, and then you have to make a short name here. So let's make it test 1, 2, 3, and you will see that the label appears here. The reverse color is a little reverse color label there. It's also optional to use the CSV file column. In our case it's 6. We have 1 line with a little test label. So we can use that, and we'll see that this is left aligned. So we'll make it right aligned, centered, and it will appear right here. There is also value labels in the same way. Set the value labels. We have to make sure that they are aligned correctly. Set them to the value scale here. Let's reverse them all. You'll see the value labels appear as well. So value labels can be set, can also be set subgraph specific. So you turn them on and off any way you want to. Line width, the line width here can also be subgraph specific, or the column, depending what you want. I think you get the deal now. So the default can be changed like that. For the line style, the same thing. We can change all that. So that's a quick run through the settings. I think you have the main gist of it. We can also do that for zones. I already defined the zone file here, and I'm gonna load that. We see that. to unhide it, that the zones will also work in a similar way. So this is a different file with zone values in the CSV file. And the zone values can also have value labels. FreeBundle column label here is 6. We'll have horizontal on the right edge. And we have something else with zones. It's inside and outside zone. So the inside zone on the, there we go. Right edge. See, inside zone here is on the inside of the zone, and the outside zone can be used to define on the outside of the zone. The same is true for the value labels. They can also be on the inside of the zone, or let's reverse them to make them more visible. They can also be on the outside of the zone. So that's in addition to the zones being used. You have different vertical alignment possibilities. So that's the other thing on zones. Then there is of course the possibility to use URLs. You can test that yourself. You can go to a website called Phoenix Web Server. It's a cute little server that looks something like this here. You can define, see here, define a folder. That folder will be used as the server root, so all the files in that folder will be used to serve up the files. So if I run this locally, just start it, I can open it. So right now I will see my local contents on that's the CSV file lines in the zones file. So that local address can be used as our URL. So we have the zones here, and we change this to a hosted, and we put the CSV zones file location in there. And now it will take the URL in as the location of the file. This is great for testing. You can also make it publicly available. If I do that here, you will have a temporary link here. It's a tunnel. They explain it on their site, and I could use that one as well. You can get a server on a lot of hosting is available. I set up a AWS machine here really quick, and this location has the same files in its web root. And I'm using a VPS to load the file. As you can see, this is the ES on the live chart, which has the same zone file. And see here a few of the settings. It's in a 10-second update, a hosted file on my AWS. And well, let's set a label option here as well. Was number 6 to the right edge, outside zone, and let's keep it that way. And now what we're going to do, I'll show you a little thing here. And the next video I will go deeper into how you can set this thing up. But this is my zones file, which will be updated by some synchronization software in the background. and I change this to 2802, and that file will be updated, and every 10 seconds the study on my VPS will take in the new file, and you see that the new zone is plotted with an update of the study. So that's it for the demo. As you can see, there's a lot of possibilities to use this study. The updates have been done. You can use a link to an existing CSV file. If you want, you can create your own file and import your zones and your lines. You can share that file, and if you start hosting it, you can share it with your fellow traders so they can see the same levels. You can get this study for $99, lifetime access. I provide a discount, $20 if you use it before the 7th of March. After that, it's $99. There's a free trial available as well. You can check it out, my Gumroad page. Then what's next? The CSV file. Might be a difficult thing to edit that file manually. You might not have time or don't really want to do that. So I made another study to take your rectangle, extended rectangle drawings in your horizontal ray drawings and convert them into CSV file format. And then you can use those files with this study as well. So that's an extra study I made. It will be released in my shop as well. It's a separate study, and you can use the discount code SOLID20 as well.